That's the title I've given this afternoon. Trust God, but tie up your camel.
Yes.
And the reason why I've given this afternoon this title is that we can't compete with the professionals, but we can do our very best, tie up your camel, but we trust God.
Yes.
We can't do better than our best, and our best in God's hands is very, very powerful. And to think of when the little boy or the young man who brought the 5 loaves and 2 fish, and the same we're thinking of Nehemiah, that the people, the common people in Jerusalem, in a little bit more than 50 days, rebuilt the walls. They trusted God. They had a spear in one hand and they were building with the other. So it's trusting God and tie up your camel. And if we do that, we can't do any more. We just trust God with what we are doing. I've been on the Open the Book website, and there are some really in the video section there are really some really good little films, and there are films that, again, aren't all that fantastic, but they've tried their best. And in the hands of God, as I said, they can be very, very dangerous. So today, I don't know where you're at with filming or with videos. So I hope that everybody will learn something and that you'll go away having learned something new. So the first thing is essential resources. And before we do a film, we need resources. Camera or a mobile phone. That's the first thing. The second thing, that's the universal smartphone clamp, phone holder, Android or an iPhone, whatever. You can also buy some to hold an iPad. But that is essential to keep the phone steady. Then you need a tripod. That's a cheap tripod, but the ratings are 40,000. So again, all these links are in the notes you'll receive tonight, the email pages. If you're filming Zoom, this one would be very, very handy for you.
Oh goodness.
Just a small one, a desktop little tripod, which you can use with a holder. And that's, again, 24, 25 pounds. There are cheaper ones. You remember how much you pay, you pay for what you get, of course. And they go up to 150, 200, a few thousand. The third thing you'll need is a microphone. A microphone is essential.
Yeah.
Don't depend on your phone, your mobile phone, for the audio. You need a microphone. This is £27. You can buy some for £9. You can buy some for 50, 500. Again, there's a wireless one, 150. There's another one which I recommend, it'll be in your notes. It's a Rode microphone. That's about £50. But this is okay. The £9, again, they're okay, better than nothing. Also, you would need an adapter for your phone. This is an Apple Lightning adapter. And then thinking thirdly of lighting. Lighting is, I would say, essential. So that's good for Zoom. That's used on top of your on your desk. Again, very, very handy. There's the reflector.
Yes.
I put that as a good resource, but not essential.
Yes.
Very, very handy to reflect lighting. Not essential, but a hand grip holder. Again, if you're filming on the move sort of thing, that's, again, very, very handy. So my second point is improving your filming, improving your film. I'm going to mention now 6 tips on improving your filming. And I've got a little film just to show you. So there's 6 things. So the first thing is fill the screen.
Does neb o gwbl yn cael gweddio ar unrhyw un, ond ar y brenin ei hun.
Secondly, it's tell the story by filming from different locations. This is Daniel now coming to the king.
All right.
Roedd Daniel wedi colli ei gartref yn Jerusalem, ond roedd e eisiau plesio Duw ble bynnag roedd o. Felly gweithiodd yn galed i wneud y gwaith a rhoddwyd iddo. Gweithiodd mor galed nes iddo ddod yn un o gynorthwywyr y brenin ei hun.
So it's telling the story by filming from different locations. And this
Yes.
is the same again, from different locations. Daniel now going to the pit, comes around the corner.
All right.
Roedd y pydew yn dywyll. Roedd y pydew yn...
Tell the story by moving locations. If you notice on films, that scenes last between about 3 and 5 and 6 seconds. They move, they're constantly changing. They're moving. The third principle is film from different angles.
Ni wedi dal Daniel rwan.
That's the first angle.
Dyna ni
Second
wedi
angle.
dal.
Same shot, but different angles. Then thirdly, or fourthly rather, lighting.
Falu amdano ni yn y wlad.
Now, that's intentional. I wanted the silhouette. That's
Yes.
what happens when you film in front of a window. And then moving a camera just to the right, what happens then is that
Bell
the
yma.
light changes.
Maddau ni, a gad i ni fynd yn ôl i'n gwlad yn hunain yn fian.
So lighting is very important. And the reason why I said that, I think buying LED video lighting, look at this shot now. Daniel is walking up to the king.
Ond ni wnaeth anghofio am Dduw.
The light on the king's face, if that lighting wasn't there, it wouldn't have been a good shot. So the lighting emphasizes the king.
Yes.
So it's fun having different lighting to make your scene look better. So lighting, again, I would think is essential. And then, fifthly, sound, audio. Audio makes a bad film look good. Right? Audio makes a bad film look good. And that's why the importance of using a lapel mic when you're recording, either if you're filming or on Zoom. Don't use the microphone on the phone. Use a lapel mic. Very, very important. And then also improving your film, the appropriate music. And this is done in editing, of course, is having good music. You can, in my appendix, second appendix, appendix 2, I've listed numerous sites where you can have free music to download. Not as good as music if you buy, but there are well, you know, they were okay. So it's having appropriate music. I've seen good films ruined by inappropriate music. So music conveys emotion. If you have a very sad scene and the music is upbeat, you know, that doesn't convey what's happening. So the importance of appropriate music. So fill the screen, film the same shot from different locations, film from different angles, good lighting, good sound, and appropriate music. Now, when using a mobile phone, always film in landscape. Don't film in portrait. Always film in landscape. And also the quality of the recording. You can, in your phone, you can change the quality of the filming. And another tip, when you're watching television, when you're watching films or commentary or documentaries, have a critical eye. Concentrate on the filming rather than on the words. Look at what they're doing, what's happening. Instead of following the storyline, just follow the filming. What are they doing? Where is the person looking? If it's a documentary, where is he looking? If it's a film, where is he looking? Usually in a documentary or an interview, he's looking away from the camera. In a film, he's looking away from the camera. Also, the links between the interviews or the links between the different scenes. Look at the angle of filming. And as I said before, count how many seconds between every shot. You'll be amazed. It's between about 3, on average, about 3 and 5 to 6 seconds. They're changing all the time. Thirdly, zoom filming. What I've seen is that zoom filming is very easy to film, but difficult to make it appealing. It's harder to produce a zoom film than it is to produce a film when you're filming outside. For example, the Daniel film that I made, it's more appealing than a zoom film, but a zoom film is easier to film than outside. Anyway, but here are some tips which I think you can take on board. Now, the importance again of a good camera, and that's why I think it's important to have a webcam. If you don't have a good, if you're using an iPhone to film yourself, and put the placing on a good film, a good quality, that's okay. But recording into a computer, or into a laptop, you need a webcam. Good quality webcam. In the notes tonight, I've noted a website where webcams are reviewed. So there's a different pricing and different quality, so you can see there. Again, audio, the importance of having the lapel mic into your computer or into your phone to record when you're reading or whatever you're doing in the Zoom production. Lighting, again, the importance of having, not sitting behind a window, sitting in front of a window so the light comes in onto you, or also having that lamp which I mentioned at the beginning, which I've put down the link to it. Also, again, the importance of the background.
Yeah.
The background. You can have digital backgrounds. I'm not sure if they work exceptionally well, but if you don't move, I think they're okay. And Appendix 3 in your notes tonight, I've noted how to place a digital background into your Zoom. It's very, very easy to do. So if you look at the notes tonight, you can see how it's done. It's very, very, probably you know anyway, but it's easy. And then, if you're not using a digital background, don't have the background which I have a sheet or something, just a plain black sheet or a green sheet. I don't think you're supposed to film in a bedroom. No, don't film in a bedroom. Camera placing. This is again important. Place the camera head on, not like that or like that. It's important that it's head on. Music. You can add music in editing. Again, I'm noted the free music and sound effects as well. I think sound effects can be very important for Zoom. These sound effects are available. Yeah, that's the third thing. Fourthly, transferring your files from phone to computer or camera. If you have a camera, if you're using a camera, you just take your card out, as you know, and you place it into your computer. Now, with a mobile phone, it's a little bit harder. Different ways of transferring data between your mobile and computer. I've noted an internet site to help you there. But I found last night a very interesting site, Snapdrop. I've noted the, and what you do is you open your phone on Snapdrop, you open your computer on Snapdrop, and then through the Wi-Fi, they'll link to each other. And then you just, very similar to AirPlay, or AirDrop rather, and it automatically transfers. So Snapdrop. Fifthly, editing.
Yes.
Editing, I'm not a fan of free editing software. They are limited. So Watkin James, you know, he started filming back in the beginning of lockdown, and he used one or two or three rather, free software, and he decided the best thing is to buy one. You can buy, the one I recommend is Adobe Premiere Elements 2021 for about £80. You can, there are tutorials, internal tutorials, and also independent courses. There's one which I've noted for about £15. There's a 4-hour tutorial. Excellent, again, for beginners. And once you start editing, you'll really enjoy it. I don't know if you do edit, but it's really, really pleasurable. Of learning new things and playing around, and it's very, very interesting. Sixthly, sharing your film. Sharing a film with a school. How to do it? Well, I've noted 4 different ways. YouTube. You can open an YouTube channel, and I noted again in the notes where the YouTube is and and then instructions how to set up an account. YouTube. If you open a YouTube channel, you can then show those films to anybody. You know, it's a channel. Then you have Dropbox. There's a free Dropbox, which would be sufficient, I would think. And that is just a file where you share the link with the school can go into Dropbox and download the film. Then there's also WeTransfer, very similar, very easy to use.
Yeah.
Very easy to use. Again, I've noted where it is and how to use WeTransfer, and also you could burn it onto a CD or save it onto an USB stick and just post it to the school or whatever time. And then lastly, something which cropped up this morning, why not invite somebody from your congregation or a friend or a family member? They might not be Christians, but who have an interest in filming or editing. Ask them, would you like to join our team of preparing a film for schools? And I remember going back years, asking a lady, would she be willing to do 5 Bible costumes, just a simple costume for kids? And she did 50 because she enjoyed needlework. If you ask a person who enjoys doing something, they'll be more than willing to help. If you ask a person who likes to film or to edit, well, they'll be more than willing to help. And I've confused you all now. You can wake up now. I've stopped the questions.
So that wasn't confused at all. That was really good. There's a couple of things I want to share with you from Open the Book point of view, okay? Yeah. If you go to the Open the Book website, on each page, there's near the top or the middle of the page, there's a yellow rectangle, and it says guidance for storytellers. Okay, and so we put that up there back before the summer, and we regularly update it. And so that if there's any information you need to know about visiting schools, filming, we put it there. Okay, so have a little look at that. Included in that information there's a note about the Bible Storyteller Bible, the Storyteller Bible, the Bob Hartman Bible, okay? We're only allowed to record 7 stories because of copyright reasons.
Yeah.
And we're only allowed to use them for 6 months. So if you record 7 stories, within 6 months, you have to remove them. If you on your YouTube channel, Facebook page, whatever, okay? But, you know, we've got 2 additional storybooks for year 2 and year 3. You can use any of those stories. So if you've got storybook 2 and 3, Bible Society owns the copyright for those stories. So you're free to use any of those stories, okay? If you are filming, I'm going to send a film to school. All the people in the film need to have a DBS check.
Yes.
So you can't just recruit your next door neighbour, or we still want everyone to have a DBS check. And you can do that same process through your local church.
Sarah, can I check, does the same apply to the camera person, for example, as Gwyn referred to?
No.
Well, I don't know about that, but I've got another query for Julie, so I'm going to ask Julie Edwards, because this morning somebody asked, would we be allowed to use children? So say if the grandchildren are over and you're doing a film, can you include them? So I'm going to check about that as well. So I'll send you Gwyn's notes tonight, but I'll have to hear back from Julie, and then I'll send you the information about that, okay?
Just thinking about the, sending it or using something like YouTube. If it's a public channel, anybody can watch.
Yes.
So you'd probably have a different situation there.
I think
in relation to using children, to if you're using a closed method, that where the film is only going into the school.
As far as I understand, Richard, when you put, you can have a private YouTube channel as well, right, that only the people you give the link to can access. So it's not public.
Right.
I haven't done that myself, but Andres Iago told me that was a thing.
Yeah, it asks you when you download the film, it asks you private or public. It doesn't automatically go into public.
Yeah.
You have to decide which one you want.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
One thing about, I know as Gwyn was going through the different equipment, it all adds up.
Sudden pain over the wallet.
Yeah, most of you are members in the PCW. So there are grants available. The presbyteries have got money. There's a children and youth committee in most presbyteries as well. Just ask the treasurer of presbytery. And there's
very popular.
Well, there's a gentleman sitting across the table from me having his lunch, and he said, tell them about the Hong Kong fund.
That's right.
£500?
Yeah.
I think they ask you to list what you want and prices, but that goes through the treasurer of presbytery. People who are not part of the Presbyterian Church of Wales, I'm sure your denominations have got similar funds for mission work, for schools work. Just ask around. Don't be put off by the cost. It's an investment, because we don't know when we're going to be back in schools as teams.
Yes.
We might be doing this for 6 months or a year. Yeah. So don't be afraid to have a go. And like Gwyn said, start off simply, and then we can add and we can improve. And Gwyn is willing to help out. If you want to send him an email or give him a ring, if you've got a problem, he's offered to do that as well.
And in my notes, I've noted there's acceptable and better. Acceptable For example, a tripod, the Amazon Basics, it's acceptable. It's 21, 22 pounds. It's acceptable. But then I've noted also a Vanguard Alta Pro tripod. That's 150. You know, so there's something maybe in between. You know, it's how much you pay for that. Again, you know, that tripod. You know, it's at 41,000 likes. So the same with a microphone. You know, lapel. There's a Rode microphone, which is a Rode, R-O-D-E. It's a very good make. There's one for 49 pounds. That again, it's a good microphone. You know, if you want one that's a wireless, you know, the wireless again, if you're filming with movement, you would need a wireless one. And there's a Rode there for 160. You know, that's very, very reasonable for a good make. Where a Sony, which could go up to £500, even more. But for 150, that's a very good buy. And especially as Sarah was saying, you know, if you have money from Presbytery and money from Hong Kong fund, you're not only thinking of maybe open the book, but you can also think for the future of you know, you don't have to only produce open the book films. You can produce another film. You know, you don't have to use open the book. So that this is the way that it's, you know, we need to invest in technology. You know,
so if we are doing this for the church that we're connected with surely may be willing to contribute to some of it, and both of us could use it.
Yes, yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, you know, do get in touch. I'm more than willing to help you with what I would recommend. I've given my recommendation in the, but do get in touch, and I'm more than willing to have a chat with you.
I'm trying to put things together. So if you're recording stuff, you know, you've got your lapel mic. In that case, you would be recording to your phone, recording yourself, presumably. Unless you've got a very long lead, you wouldn't be able to, or a wireless mic, you wouldn't be able to record somebody else moving around, for example.
No, what you do is, for example, is, you have to think of scenes. I'm recording you now, you're Daniel, I'm recording you, and then Eleanor is the king, so you just give the mic to her, then I shoot you from this angle, then shoot Eleanor from that angle. So it's like a jigsaw of putting things together, thinking again of numerous shots.
Yeah, but you've got the distance between the camera. You know, you've got your wireless. Oh, sorry, you've got a non-wireless mic, for example. You've only got the length of the cable between that and the mobile phone or whatever.
Yeah. Well, you can buy cables which can 10 meters,
right,
long enough where as long as you don't walk around and trip, you know, it's you know, that's okay. And you just have your lapel mic, then put the wire inside and then out to the back somewhere, and then into your phone. Or the Rode one, the Rode one is wireless, so that's again an advantage of, you know, if you have money from your church or from Presbytery, from Hong Kong fund, I would suggest go for the Rode £150 because it's wireless and it's good quality.
Yeah.
Has anybody got another question?
Before you go, somebody asked who was it with the Snapdrop.
Oh yeah.
You just type in Snapdrop into the Google search, and it comes up on your phone. You do the same thing on your computer,
right?
And then at the bottom it says you are known as Teal Hawk. They give you a name,
right?
So I'm here now. It's Teal Hawk, and then on your phone, on your computer, it'll be Teal Hawk, and you just move the film. You just tap on it, and it'll go into your film, and then you just move it in, and it automatically transfers. I was amazed last night.
Will it then transfer it to iMovie?
Well, no, then you'll have to, with iMovie, that's the editing suite. You have then, it's on your computer,
Yeah.
and then you have to move it into your iMovie on your computer. Once it's on your computer, it's in your system.
Right.
Yeah.
It will transfer between Mac and Android. A Mac and iPhone. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm saying the same name for the two.
Yeah. Well, if you have, so you have a Mac computer, and
yes.
Yeah, and you have an Android phone.
No, I don't. I have got a Mac phone, but it does say it will transfer between devices, between iOS and Android users can work together.
Yeah. Well, you can transfer using AirDrop.
Yes.
Yeah.
One thing, just to share with you, I just thought of, Gwyn has been helping a team up in Nevin, and one of the films, the first film they made, they actually went to one of the storytellers who was at home, self-isolating, because, you know, in the first lockdown, people were self-isolating who had health conditions. And they filmed her in the garden reading the introduction and doing the conclusion and the prayer. Yes. And it's a way we can involve members of the team. Perhaps they don't get out very much. Perhaps your services haven't started yet. It'd be a lovely way for them to feel, well, I'm still contributing, I'm still part of the team. So that might be something to bear in mind as well when you're considering this.
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah.
Any questions?
Yes, I've got one.
Eleanor?
If you do what you've suggested and film different people in different places, what's the easiest way to put those bits of film together then, those different
things
together?
You then need an editing suite. As I said,
is that iMovie?
iMovie, yes, that's one you can use. That's basic, but it does the job.
Right.
There are, as I said previously, there are free software, free editing suites available, but again, they're free. You know, if they're free, as Watkin James tried 2 or 3 different ones, he decided the best thing was to buy one. And he bought as my recommendation, the Adobe Premiere Elements for about £80. I've got it's in the notes, and you can have there's tutorials within you can have tutorials on their site, Adobe site, and there's also independent courses. There's one course, I think it's for 4 or 5 hours, I think, and it's about £15 for beginners. You know, and it's they're good. You know, they go through the basics, and once you master the basics, then you learn something new, one new thing every week. You know, I'm still learning. I'm only probably 1% of what my suite does, but I'm learning all the time. I'm finding different ways to do different things. So I would recommend, again, you know, if there's money from Presbytery or wherever, buy the Adobe suite. Decide, right, for 5 days now, I'm going to have an hour every day doing this training. And you'll be amazed. You know, it sounds complicated, but it's not. It's not. I'm self-taught. I was scared in the beginning, thinking, oh, editing and doing all these things. But it is, once you get started, and you're never too old to start.
Can I just ask another question, please? The sample film that you did with Daniel, was that prepared during a lockdown situation?
No, that was filmed about 6 weeks ago. We were making sure that everybody were 2 meters apart. It's camera technique when filming. If you're a long zoom, everything gets closer. So I was filming Daniel from the back. Even though he looked very close to the king, he was about 2 or 3 meters away.
Right. So in fact, you're saying that we can do things in the open or in a large room, so that maybe, in fact, since we are then all together in the same environment, we've got the same backdrop, rather than trying to connect different people's background to get the same one from separated shots.
Yes, you just make sure that you have your masks there, your hand sanitizers, and you're keeping your 2 meters apart.
Right.
As long as you do that, you know, it's and also it's fun. It's fun, you know. When we did the filming in Nevin, I think it was about 4 hours altogether. It was fun. We had fun together doing it.
Yeah.
My husband wants me to ask a question. He says, if you have a lapel mic, you must be transmitting to something. What do you need to receive the transmission?
Well, you have your wireless or your wired lapel mic that goes into either if you're using a camera, or if you're using an iPhone, into the iPhone or into the camera. It all depends which phone you have. You might have I think an Android would have a jack, a place to place your audio wire. iPhone, the more recent ones, you need to have an adapter. So the mic goes into the phone or into the camera.
If you're using a wireless one, though, Gwyn.
If you're using a wireless, it's exactly the same. Your receiver, the mic transmits then into a receiver. The receiver goes into your phone or into your camera.
Yeah, so you've got a USB connector into the...
Yes, a jack or a...
Yeah.
Yes. Let me just...
What is your receiver? Ask Richard, he can tell me what it's about.
So does that work on Bluetooth then? Does it, Brent? Gwen?
No. It's that's your mic.
Yes.
Which goes onto your lapel, and that's the jack.
Yeah.
That my phone doesn't have. I can't place the jack into the phone, so I need to buy an adapter to go into the charging place where I can.
All right.
So on an Android, or you might have a hole to place your
jack.
Your jack.
Yes.
And it's the same with a wireless one. You still have a jack.
Okay.
And that's the receiver, and then your microphone will be on your person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Buy the best one you can afford. That's my advice. Buy the best one you can afford. And if you have money from your presbytery or from Hong Kong, you can get some good quality stuff. Don't skimp on the microphone. Don't skimp on the microphone. You've got your camera, you've got your iPhone, and the quality, the phone quality, the iPhone and the Android probably as well, they're excellent. But do change the quality of the record in your settings. Audio. Yeah, in your settings.
If you are going to ask for a grant from Presbytery, presbyteries are not meeting face to face at the moment, but I would just be a bit cheeky and say it's really urgent that we have this as soon as possible, because the officers can meet like this on Zoom quite easily, can't they? So I hope none of you are Presbytery treasurers. Don't tell them I said that, but just say, I think you can just, we're really desperate to get this as soon as possible. Try your luck. No, pray.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, well, time has gone now. unless anybody's got a burning question. But if you go away and you think about it and you start to do something and think, oh, what did he say about that? You can't find it in the notes, or you just need a little refresher. Gwyn has given me permission to include his email and his mobile for you to get in touch with him.